Today we've got a shocking discovery for the new Galaxy S24 Ultra, as well as some more spec confirmations. Let me know in the comments who out there is excited for the new Galaxy S24 Ultra, and don't forget to hit subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech. So first up, we've got a tweet from Yang on Twitter, and he says that the Galaxy S24 Ultra could be coming as a uni-bezel device, and that it supports 2200 nits at full brightness. Now, reliable leaker Ice Universe, however, commented on this tweet, and he says that the brightness is going to be higher than that. And Ice Universe tweeted on his own page, and he says that we're going to get a peak brightness of 2500 nits. Now, it was a bit of a shock last year when the S23 Ultra came out with a display capable of 1750 nits of peak brightness. Then the iPhone 14, which does have a display from Samsung Displays, was actually capable of 2000 nits of peak brightness, which is more. So hopefully Samsung do make up for it with the S24. Next up, we've got another tweet from Ice Universe, and he says that according to the available data, the S24 Ultra bezels are actually going to be quite big instead of being thinned down, and he shows us a reference image with 3mm bezels at the top and bottom, and then 4.42mm on the sides. Now, Ice Universe has proved himself to be a very reliable source, so this is shocking information to hear, and I can't believe Samsung are going to make the bezels thicker on such a premium device. Now, of course, if it is true, then there is going to be some sort of reason behind it, and maybe it's part of the reason that they can achieve such a bright display. Now, next up, we've got even more shocking news that the S24 Ultra is going to be a flat display and not a curved one. According to Ice Universe, it's a 6.78-inch flat OLED display. It's got a resolution of 3120 by 1440 and then an aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9. Now, it seems I'm part of the minority here and I actually like the curved displays. I feel like it makes the device look and feel a lot more premium as long as the curve isn't too much. That being said, when it comes to the S Pen, the curve is a bit of a nightmare, so getting rid of it means that people can happily use the S Pen and go right up to the edge of the display without any problems. Now let me know in the comments if you prefer a flat or a curved display for the S24 Ultra. Now next up, we've got news that both the Galaxy S24 and the Galaxy S24 Plus are going to be getting a redesign as well. And although the front and the rear are going to look very similar, they're going to be changing to a new flat edge design. Now the news again comes from reliable leaker Ice Universe, and he also provided some photos, but the photos here are actually of the Meizu 20, but what we can expect is something that looks like the S23, but with the size of an iPhone 14. We've also got a new concept trailer published by 4RMD on YouTube, and he shows us the Galaxy S24 Ultra with a new flat edge titanium design, but Ice Universe made no mention of flat sides on the S24 Ultra. But now we've got a flat display, maybe it could be something similar. Now, for those of you excited for the Samsung Galaxy S24 series though, we're now going to run through the specs, design and the pricing of each model in the range to help you guys decide which one is right for you. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you are new here, then hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. The standard Galaxy S24 is coming with a 6.1-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. We get a resolution of 2340 by 1080, and it's going to be using Samsung's new M13 OLED panels protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear it's a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a 10-megapixel telephoto, and of course it's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, while European users are going to be getting the Exynos 2400. We get 12 Gigabytes of RAM and a choice of 256 or 512GB storage, and this is going to be a UFS 4.1. It comes with a 3900 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still unknown, we're hoping to see an upgrade to something like 40 watts, but we do know that we're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. Now it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from about $850 to $900, and that's going to be in February 2024. Now next up, we've got the Galaxy S24 Plus with a 6.6-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. We get a resolution of 2340 by 1080, and it's going to be using Samsung's new M13 OLED panel, and again protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear, again it's a 50-megapixel primary, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a 10-megapixel telephoto. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, and again, Europe users are going to get the Exynos 2400, and again, we get 12 GB of RAM, and then the choice of 256 or 512 storage, which will be UFS 4.1. It comes with a 4700 mAh battery, and while fast charging again is unknown, we're hoping to see an upgrade to something like 40 watts, and again, we get 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. It's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from about $1,050. Now finally, we've got the most premium, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. With the S24 Ultra, we got a 6.8-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. It's got a resolution of 3088 by 1440, and again, it's using Samsung's new M13 OLED panel, protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies. Then on the rear, it's a 200-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, we get a 50-megapixel 3x telephoto, as well as a 10-megapixel telephoto with 10x optical zoom. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, with European users getting the Exynos 2400. And with the S24 Ultra, we get 16 GB of RAM with up to 1 TB of storage, and of course, it's UFS 4.1. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still unknown, when it comes to the Ultra, we're hoping for an upgrade of something closer to 60 watts. We're also going to get 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. Now it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from $1,250. So for the first time in a couple of years, it looks like we're going to be getting some big changes to design and hardware in the S series, and it does make things a little bit more interesting. With phones being so similar every release, it's refreshing to see something different from Samsung this time round. And of course, as we approach the launch, more and more information is going to continue to come in, and I'll be sharing it straight away. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.